guys, it's Danielle with Take Care Mama, and I just wanted to make a video since we are rounding out a whole decade, saying goodbye to the 2010s and hello to the 2020s. So I encourage you to do this. I took some time in silence, and social media is kind of helpful for this. I kind of went through my pictures and my Facebook and just reflected on the last decade and the highs of the last decade and the lows and what's changed and how I've grown. I, again, really encourage you to do the same and to take some time to honor that we just went around the sun 10 more times together. So 2010 was actually a really big year for me. I started the year engaged. I was living on my own in the city in St. Paul, and I have to say I kind of miss living alone as an introvert. I was kind of just starting my career and engaged to this amazing man and planning my wedding. So we got married in 2010. He moved into my duplex in St. Paul with his dog. I became a stepmom to a little black lab, not little, he was rather large. He died a few years ago, and started our married life. I changed careers shortly after, and we did some traveling and had some fun parties. We went out a lot. We lived by some amazing restaurants and bars, and so we would just, go to happy hour, walk to a restaurant, and just lived the married life without kids. And it was a great time. And we got pregnant in this decade twice. We had sweet baby James in 2012. I had to think about that. And it was a very hard pregnancy, a very difficult labor, and that was that was the hardest time of my life post James. Talked about this a lot before, but basically undiagnosed depression and anxiety, really dark. I wasn't suicidal or anything, but just very unhappy, and I was so unhappy that I didn't even know I was unhappy. It wasn't until I finally hit rock bottom and got medical help and started to get out of the fog that I realized how much I missed out on because I was so unhappy. So that was a dark time. It took me a few years to kind of dig out of it, but we did, and we moved here to my current house, which I don't know if I've mentioned that. I probably have, but anyways, this house is the house my husband grew up in. We bought this house from my mother-in-law. She got married, and her husband moved. They bought a house together, and so it's been fun to have James and now Norma grow up in their dad's house, and suburban life has been interesting. I never thought I would be a suburban mom. I like it. I miss the city a lot. I mean, the city at St. Paul, but I miss being able to walk places. I miss the culture and the diversity of the city. I really appreciate our house and our backyard. We have a really nice, large yard, and it's very private. And I don't know, but I've been telling a lot of friends, I think I'm either a city girl or more rural than this. We have friends who are very rural. It's hard for me to say. They have just a ton of land. You can't see a single house from their property, and my heart is just happy when I'm there. So I feel like if we move again, which I'm sure we will, maybe in this next decade coming up, I think we'll either be more on the rural side, I can't say that word, or maybe back to the city. I don't know. I can't speak. What else? So another huge thing I went through this decade was James's issues and the final diagnosis of ADHD, SPD, and anxiety. And I'm gonna correct myself. That was harder than my postpartum stuff. And maybe they kind of blended together. I have never felt more lonely. We were kicked out of multiple daycares, did not understand what was going on, felt like he was an alien, I was an alien. Like, why were we having so much trouble? Why couldn't people relate to him? Why couldn't the teachers get to him or figure him out? Norma woke up. But yes, James and his issues, and I advocated my butt off. I researched like crazy. I made appointments, we did therapy, I signed up for services. She's gonna need a nurse. And we ended up qualifying for help from our local school district, which is amazing. And now he is in first grade and we still have hard times, which we always will and we all do, even if we're neurotypical. But we have support and we have help, and he has an IEP, and I just like sometimes want to pat my shoulder and give him a huge hug. We've worked really hard and I'm so grateful for the help we've received. What also happened during this decade is I started my YouTube channel. And that was a huge, huge thing for me. I am so shy and pretty insecure. And I just did it. And it's not a popular channel. I'm not really making lots of money. But I will. And I'm very proud of myself for putting myself out there. I have been consistent. And it's growing slowly but steadily, and I have met amazing people, and I have grown immensely since I started my channel. Can you wave at the baby? And that's one of the last things I want to talk about. I've been working on myself for the past 2 or 3 years. It kind of coincided with the launch of my YouTube channel. I've done a lot of self-work and kind of like, I mean, I have been to therapy, but more like coaching myself with podcasts and books and all of that stuff. And I've just grown a lot in the past couple years in that regard. And now looking back, it's the start of this decade and the beginning of motherhood, I was an extremely negative, low vibe person. I had a lot of victim mentality, especially after James was born. I blamed a lot. I did not have a good experience at the hospital. I had mean nurses, but I blamed the doctors and the nurses, and I just attracted negative energy. I looked out for negative things in the world and I found them. That's not hard to do. And I just feel in the past couple years, I've become a lot more mature, emotionally mature, and more strong and positive. And in turn, I'm just a lot happier, and I feel like I see good things more and attract good things more, and I'm excited to continue on that journey. And with that said, we wrapped up the decade with this little munchkin, Norma Ione, who we didn't think we would have. I will do because I've been asked by a lot of people to do a video on that, because I have a popular video about why we only have one child. And like months later, we conceived her, and I almost sometimes feel bad about it or silly. But something about a year and a half ago changed in my body, and I just all of a sudden really wanted another child and felt ready. Like I felt like I could emotionally handle it. And Phil was on board, which I was really surprised by. And we got pregnant pretty easily. I'm so grateful. 2 months. And yeah, I had a hard pregnancy again. But a very spiritual pregnancy, I would say. My Mimi, my grandmother, named Norma, died while I was pregnant. And even though we didn't really know if she was a girl, I felt led by God that I was having a girl and her name was Norma. So the rest of the pregnancy, I meditated and spoke to baby Norma in my stomach. I had an amazing healing VBAC birth, and this person came into our lives, and we are forever changed and forever grateful. And she's a talker. That's a lot in a decade, and if you're around my age, I'm sure you have had a busy decade as well. And I just wanted to share, selfishly, more for me to look back on. And I encourage you to take some time to think about the last 10 years and how your life has changed. And I am very excited for the new year and the new decade. 35 years old to 45 years old I will be. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next and excited to dream. And man, you'll be 10 in another decade. 10 years old. That's older than your brother. No. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, can you tell the mamas to take care? Can you wave? Can you wave? Take care, mama. Bye, guys.